normal news, na?
Then he used to do sports also.
Huh?
We are live from Manchester. The action's now in Trinidad. The rain.
There's no action.
The rain action.
The rain action, yes. Because we had 1 hour and 6 minutes of play on the first session. The biggest highlight was debutant Mukesh Kumar getting his first test wicket, and Kirk McKenzie playing a rather poor shot, but looked the most assured of the lot. Strike rate of 56. 117 for 2, and that is why they are trailing by 321 runs. The lunch session, by the way, now these are the revised playing conditions. Now we are going to see action at 12:10 p.m. AM IST, I mean PM IST,
PM.
12:10 p.m. West
AM would be
Indies
midnight.
Standard Time. Yeah, West Indies Standard
That would have been a ping ball day-night test match. There.
Yeah, so that means you are going to see resumption of play in the next 25 minutes. The lunch session has been shortened.
Yeah.
So that is why you will see action in the next 20 minutes or so. And let's hope.
Very interesting update, by the way. Root has removed Labuschagne.
Oh,
no.
He looked the most threatening of the lot, though.
Well, he almost got him with that ripper of a ball that he bowled.
Which looked more like an outswinger than
It was just... It was the arm ball, I believe. Bowled like a medium pacer, in fact.
Yep.
Root's got Labuschagne.
And you really can't hold it against Crawley, you know. I don't think that was catchable.
I know, I mean, it came at close to 100 kmph. When the edge came, it flew at double the rate past him.
Yeah, Crawley's header was went.
That was, he should have at least told the keeper and the slip fielder, given him some sort of a sign, let's say, for the
Then you could have given
as to what's coming
You'd
up.
have given it away, unfortunately.
Somehow, whatever, you have ways.
Well, one hopes that doesn't open the floodgates for Australia, because they have held on so far. I mean, we all thought maybe England would need 1.5 sessions to take their way, but no, actually, first.
They've hung on very well.
Yep,
Thanks in no small part to Labuschagne.
25 overs, they have batted pretty well. So, remember, 11:30 play can be extended in England. 11:30. So,
And I think you are saying that today. In fact, I remember the revised playing conditions. They said that the last session will end at 7 o'clock local time, which means 11:30 for us.
Yeah. Yep. So, and remember, even the weather for tomorrow is not that great here. And again, Labuschagne, I don't know what happens against England. He gets to a century but doesn't convert into a daddy 100. I mean, he hit 103 in Adelaide, that ping ball test match. And he was dropped twice.
Oh, it was a bit of a fumble.
Yeah. But again, looked like the arm ball to me.
Yeah, it didn't look like
It
didn't spin inside.
And Root looks to be the most threatening bowler in this.
Yeah, actually, we expected cloud cover, there'd be some movement. There was no movement, but I think the pitch is a bit stodgy, so it might actually help.
Yeah. So remember, the weather even for tomorrow is not that great in Manchester. So how much ever they can make inroads by the end of the day today, it'll be better for them.
Ideally for them, they need to try and run through them ASAP.
I think they should get Wood in now, Mark Wood.
Why were they not bowling him?
I think not enough purchase for the
yes,
just
again.
shot, like maybe they don't need their Root.
Yeah, I think they should be bowling Root and Moeen in tandem now for a while.
Moeen is bowling.
bowling.
Yeah.
But of course, he looks much more menacing.
Yep, and remember, Marsh is assured at the other end. Oh,
That was very close.
Oh, he did actually,
There's a drop.
Oh dear. Could that be a costly drop?
Yes.
Fingertips.
Yep, and remember, Green is very, very short on confidence.
Guys, we're talking about India versus West Indies.
Yeah.
All right, gentle reminder, not so gentle actually, from Saransh, our dear friend.
So,
he says we're here to talk about West Indies.
Let us shift our action to Trinidad. What happened is that in the 1 hour and 6 minutes that the action happened, you hardly saw any kind of movement.
You're being polite by calling it action.
Yeah.
I mean, Kirk McKenzie dazzled with a couple of good fours, and he looked assured.
Even Brathwaite had a nice couple of back foot shots.
But remember, Brathwaite, that strike rate of 30.
I'm not judging Craig Brathwaite on his strike rate.
Yeah. I don't think there's any reason to be judging him.
Kind of, you will hang in there, guard defense, he'll just go
conventional
around.
play.
Yeah, so that's why. But Kirk McKenzie had some pretty good boundaries that he hit, and there was hardly any movement. Siraj wasn't getting that much of purchase. Unadkat again, 6 overs for 12, but then the next 3 overs conceded 19. So, big question marks over Jaydev Unadkat in that sense. But yeah, Mukesh Kumar, he had bowled 4 overs for 10 in the in the previous day. Today he bowled 2.4 overs, 1 run. and he's gotten the wicket of Kirk McKenzie. And remember, two of these dismissals, Tej Narayan and Kirk McKenzie, it was decentish bowling, but bad shots.
Yes, shot selection was very poor.
Even the one wicket that has fallen today, again, yes, I feel happy for Mukesh, but truth be told, I think the batter would be cursing himself for going for that shot. Again, wasn't really required, and he was expecting, of course, as a batter, I think he was expecting it to be much fuller so that he could drive it, but then wasn't
But even more doubly, he'll be ruining his luck because
Saraj, if he had to not, get swayed by the match happening there, you got to change. You got to change it because it's just so much happening there.
Action, literally.
And that's actually the action, Siddharth, that you were earlier sort of talking about.
waxing lyrical about. So at this point, I will say, why is it doubly frustrating? If he hung in there, the rain would have come. West Indies would still have been one down. After he got dismissed, the rain came.
Exactly.
But good thing, and I see it as a positive for West Indies, this present team that you're seeing. Both the debutants, let's say the one we saw in the previous test match and the debutant for this test match, Kirk McKenzie, both have looked promising,
Yes.
At a time where West Indies cricket obviously
really
isn't going through any sort of a bloom, let's say. It is a big silver lining that the two young cricketers you were talking about in the build-up to the series, both being handed their maiden caps. It is heartening and heartwarming to see both of them, play well. And the other ones, again, of course, after playing in front of the home crowd in Dominica, let's see what AajTak can do in this match. I'm actually excited to see him back.
I would have there's even more frustration. I wanted to see Kirk McKenzie and Alec Athana's bat together. Because you remember in '96 there was an era in Indian cricket where we were thinking, it's kind of cynical. What are we going to do? Who's our next best batter? A certain Dada, Saurav Ganguly and the Rahul Dravid came together at Lord's. And then you saw that it was the change of a new guard. There was a totally new era in Indian cricket. You had an assured number 3. You had Saurav Ganguly, who would go on to become one of the best captains that India had. Now, if West Indies needed that kind of a revival, Alec Athana's and Kirk McKenzie, they can you could have seen how could they tackle the best bowling attack that is there. India is also a decent bowling attack, let us give them their dues, but that won't happen until
they always are a decent bowling attack when they play Ravichandran and Ashwin.
Of course.
Definitely.
Ashwin can move mountains, that's how good he is, but
not so
it's going to be a day of toil because the sun is out in Port of Spain. Now there's no rain threat now. So that's why the lunch session has been curtailed to make up for the lost time.
When those visuals were panning out and we were all, checking those visuals out, the one thing that came to my mind was the other story that you were saying the other day about Chepauk, half the ground had rain, the other half didn't get any rain.
Chinnaswamy.
That was Chinnaswamy. So because, there was those...
Latest news is this.
All right.
Yeah, which is in the next 15 minutes. 9:40 IST. It will start in the next 15 minutes.
So 15 minutes we'll have action because according to the pictures that we can see now, sunny skies covers off. That's very good news.
But just coming back to what I was saying, so right now, even when that little bit of drizzle had happened,
so sunny.
The sun was still out, and I was reminded of that story. And is it something like that happening? Of course, in another part of the world.
And that's I think that's an African myth that if there is rain and sun at the same time, two foxes, they're getting married somewhere. That is the myth that
I'm
goes
amazed
around.
that you know this.
Yeah, it came because
I shouldn't be, but I still am.
Well, you are getting hitched soon, so
A few months too.
yeah. And
No rainbows involved there.
But again, remember, this is a similar kind of a weather that is expected on day 5 of this test match. If it goes that distance, because you will see sporadic rainfall on Monday. 55% chances now. It's
I think now with this one rain interruption, the chances of a day 5 are a little higher, dare I say. Just a tad.
Because they're not 3 or 4 down, they're only 2 down. That's why I think the chances have increased if it has to look at it for a day 5 test match. But again, India has to take wickets consistently. That is the key thing. If they don't take wickets, and anyway, if they go past 250 West Indies, then also you're going to see a 5-day test match. Because they'll give you 4 sessions. India will want 4 sessions to bowl out the West Indies. they could very well do it in 3. That's why this is the situation at this point.
The good thing is at least that the rain didn't end up washing out a session or so.
I mean, but I hope that the infrastructure at Port of Spain has improved when it came.
It would have, otherwise they wouldn't have been restarting so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a constant barrage of rain that we get, it can be a repeat of 2016 because sunshine, they even used a helicopter to ensure that the outfield would be wet. Didn't happen. The underneath surface was so swampy, they just couldn't start. And Port of Spain just had one super stop. Just one. For a international venue, for that it is really, really bad to say the least. So let's take a couple of questions.
And zoom it in slightly.
Yeah, Vignesh Konar is like saying, increase in quality among teams like Scotland, Netherlands, Namibia. Top cricket teams should play bilateral series against these teams rather than the West Indies, Bangladesh, etc. can happen in future.
No, unlikely. You have to remember the bilateral, the system is actually, in my opinion, a bit broken. Very simple reason that it's chasing the money. So if you're going to only be chasing the money, then you're not going to be playing teams like, as you say, Scotland, Netherlands, Namibia. You're not. Because there is quite frankly no interest in, I mean, you already struggle as an Indian fan to generate interest in a West Indies series. Imagine if you're playing Scotland or Namibia. No.
I mean, Vignesh, let me just tell you one more thing. All the top 9 nations are playing some form of bilateral cricket. Even the West Indies are playing bilateral cricket. Bangladesh are playing bilateral cricket until the World Cup. The 10th team that made it, Netherlands,
Are not.
they aren't playing a single bilateral series until the World Cup.
And their best
And there
players
is no
will,
time.
Yeah, and their best players will be playing county.
And that county season, by the way, ends in September. After that, what? They'll have to do it according to their own, training mechanisms. They have to just innovate and do something. Because they're making it to the World Cup after 12 years. They didn't make it in 15, they didn't make it in 19. And 2011 when they came here, you all know that in Delhi that there was a match. Hima Roach took a hat-trick, 6 for 27 against the Netherlands. So, it's going to be tough. And this is not happening. India are not playing Scotland, Netherlands, Namibia. It's a miracle that they play Zimbabwe. That itself is a miracle, So, against Scotland, Netherlands and Namibia, forget it. Prabal Rai is asking us, according to you, who is the most attractive batsman to watch in this generation?
Most attractive.
Would that be in elegance? Or just
Yeah, in
pleasing to
elegance.
the eye?
Elegance probably. Pleasing to the eye, aesthetically pleasing. Probably Rohit would come close. Rohit is prime, very aesthetically pleasing.
I mean, he's not elegant and he's definitely very unorthodox. I would say Steve Smith.
Steve Smith.
I would pay hundreds of dollars or Austin to watch him.
I think I quite like Usman Khwaja.
Not a bad
left-hander,
shot,
yeah. Elegant left-hander, yes. Get your
I like his stance, the way he takes his guard. Very classical in his approach. So, and the transition, let's say, that he's made, I quite like it.
Maybe attractive batsman Babar Azam.
Yes.
in
good
the
shout.
future, someone, I think, give him more time to get like years under his belt. Shubman Gill.
Shuman Gill, yeah.
100%.
Absolutely.
He's already very easy on the eye. For a right-hander, surprisingly so.
Yeah.
He might. But then he's got sterner tests and, if you may say, sterner examinations awaiting him in test matches.
Yeah.
Because he is great in white ball cricket, there's no doubt.
But his
about
one standout knock is that 91.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it, unfortunately, for now.
That's it, 30 average, very underwhelming for Shubman Gill, who's touted as the successor to Virat Kohli. I mean, that is massive shoes to fill. So,
Arun Teja makes a good point saying that India will bat against a West Indies score more than 200 just to give our bowlers rest. Spot on. You're not going to follow on or enforce the follow on if you get them out for 200.
this pitch is not going to allow you to. It's a total shirt front.
Exactly. I don't see that happening though.
Yep. ABD and QDK.
Yeah, I mean, ABD definitely, but he was unorthodox in the sense of,
He was-
unorthodox and powerful
Yeah.
So-
He is Mr. 360 an
for a reason.
absolute GOAT in this
QDK,
era.
good shout.
Yeah, I mean,
And underratedly powerful as a batsman. For someone of his
Yeah,
build,
yeah.
you don't think he's as powerful as he is, but good lord, he can leather them.
I mean, second tier sixes are very easy for Quinton de Kock in that sense.
Yeah.
Just the fact is that how many centuries will Virat Kohli get at the end of my career? My end of career, my guess is
95, Mr. Fact.
That means he needs 19 more centuries.
19.
That means you are saying that Kohli could play for another 3 to 4 years.
Which is doable, really.
He is turning 35 on November 5.
If he cuts down on formats, which he might.
He will.
Yeah.
He will.
So, yeah, I think that's...
Okay, assuming he will play until the 2025 WTC final. Okay, that means he is going to play another 17 tests.
Yeah.
Roughly.
No, 9, because you're playing 2. This is the part of the new cycle, 2 tests. You're going to play 2 tests in South Africa. 5
4
against England.
5 against
9.
5 in Australia.
14.
That's and 3 against New Zealand.
17.
2 against Bangladesh.
There we go, 19. That's your cycle.
That's your cycle. And 20 with the World Test Championship final if India make it. I don't think he may play ODIs that much after the 2023 World Cup.
He might. I think he will. He'd want to win.
He might quit T20s then. Ahead of the 2024.
I don't think that call is. I think that call has been taken for him. For now. For now.
For now. But I don't see him play all 3 formats in 2020.
That's what I'm saying.
After that,
T20s he's not playing anyway. He'll play IPL. And that's the extent of it. Unless something major happens and he makes a comeback, maybe then the last dance will be 2024.
So maybe if he gets
T20.
Here for T20s.
If he gets
He's playing. For me, I'm telling. If even though indications at the moment are that you're looking beyond Rohit and Virat, but
we
know how cricket works here.
Suppose he plays another 4 years, which means he can play until the age of 39. 90.
That's it.
That's it.
And that in itself is not an bad
because
number.
4 years, I'm assuming he'll get about 2 test centuries per year. That's 8. Then ODIs, T20Is, I think another 6 more.
I think what really impacted his chance of getting to
That
100.
3-year slump.
Yes.
Yeah.
That drought really killed his chances of trying to even make it a competition to get to 100.
Because
now it seems unlikely.
If I had done in 2017, this was peak Virat Kohli era, peak Virat
You
Kohli.
could have seen him get there.
According to the way how he was going, if he had no lean patch,
Yeah.
65 ODI tons and 45 test tons.
Wow.
He would have ended up
110.
with that.
But again, keeping up with that average
Is next level
yeah,
impossible.
yeah. Like he is an alpha male, but you know
He's human too. So
he is human too.
I think these 3 years made him mortal. So I think he will not get 6 centuries a year, 7 centuries a year. That doesn't happen.
But considering the fact that you're playing a lot of ODIs, and don't forget Asia Cup is an ODI format. ODI is Kohli's preferred format.
Yeah.
Maybe he might not get too many tests, but there's a lot of ODI cricket coming up still. Don't forget you have a home series against Australia also.
3, you have 3 there. Then you've got
And
Asia Cup 5.
Please, in a World Cup, there's maybe 4 teams that will be challenging for you. You're going to be playing Netherlands.
Yeah,
and
you're
Sri
going to
Lanka.
play 10. So you're going to play a total of 2 plus
9.
2.
11 matches most.
Yeah,
Cup,
11.
no? Yeah.
You'll play about 20, 22 ODIs in this 4-month period.
That is his best chance, especially when you consider a lot of them are either in home or be home-like conditions. That will be his chance to really make an impact.
Yes.
Any more questions though?
Vignesh is saying, world says India versus Pakistan is the utmost intense rivalry world ever has seen. But imagine England PM and Australian PM making fun of each other current Ashes. I think nothing gets bigger than England versus Australia.
From
in
a
the
purely
Ashes.
cricketing perspective, if you're looking at a rivalry, then nothing trumps the Ashes.
Yeah.
It's the most oldest, most organic rivalry the sport has seen.
Yeah. But if you're looking at world football, I think Argentina, Brazil, that's a hostile rivalry.
It's a hostile rivalry, but they've also not, they don't have, again, see, football is very different in the sense that you don't have bilateral sort of a thing. So they've also had like peaks and troughs. And more often than not, when one was dominating, the other wasn't necessarily doing well. You have to remember that also. Because see, right now, Argentina, 21, they won the Copa America. 22, they won the World Cup. 22, they also won the Finalisma. Brazil, the last international thing they won, if I'm not wrong, was
2002?
16. You're talking about the Olympics also.
Olympics.
No? I'm talking about, they won a Copa also in between that, if I'm not wrong. But again, Brazil right now, they've been struggling if you're talking World Cups.
20 years. Yeah. 24 years.
So, so this is 20-year
And even
gap.
this year, who thought that Croatia would knock them out?
See, and that's the thing. But if you're talking about that kind of intensity, you don't have anything in cricket like it. Football also, see, a lot of rivalries are down to geopolitical reasons as much as anything else.
And
Argentina,
the colonial
Brazil is the same.
history.
Yeah, Argentina,
And the-
Brazil is the same. Argentina, England is
England,
considered a
yeah.
rivalry because of
Falklands.
Falklands.
Yeah.
Then you have, of course, England, Germany, England, France. Again, geopolitical. France versus, I don't know, who do they have a rivalry against? But even beyond that.
France, Italy, or France, Germany.
Maybe. See,
France.
that's the thing.
Yeah. In rugby, if you look at it, the All Blacks versus Springboks.
In fact, at club level, you see far more
Correct,
fierce
correct,
rivalries.
correct.
Or maybe if you look at it in cricket, very underrated. Australia, South Africa. Very intense rivalry.
No, then for that matter, Australia, South Africa, never mind. I think if you're talking about underrated, then England, West Indies. Colonial.
Yeah,
From
colonial
the colonial
reasons,
perspective, it's
Yeah.
one that really spurs on the Windies even till this date.
Yeah.
Lest we forget this West Indies team who are no hopers have beaten England at home.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
England at home. Yep. So.
And
Yes.
actually, you're right. If you're looking at good one, Aditya,
Aditya.
saying RCB LSG, that's a rivalry.
That's yeah. You're
Ironically, a rivalry caused by two Delhi boys.
Delhi boys. Yes. Yep.
I think now we'll be having play resume soon.
Another 2 minutes, I
Yes.
think. 2 to 3
Yeah.
minutes.
I think it's a
and-
crucial session now if India really need to get a move on because really there was nothing they were getting. They need to try something
If
different.
there's actually, because if it continues this way, you're only looking at one result which both teams would not want. But again, you've got to have wickets, otherwise, this is going to be a hopeless match. And
Otherwise, you're going for a 5-day test which ends in a draw.
yeah, it's reminding me of what we saw against Australia, the 4th Test match in Ahmedabad.
No, that was worse. That was worse.
Yeah,
That was
so-
much worse.
See, there was no rain threat.
Yeah, exactly. You had to sit through 5 days.
Yes. Okay, bright and sunny
good
at
sign.
Port of Spain, and Soam Chatterjee is not agreeing with me. He said he already scored 6 centuries in about less than a year. I'm not saying that Virat scores 100 or 90, but as that's that he can't score 6 centuries, I'm not agreeing on it.
Let's see. I mean, see, as I'm saying, I think this year will be key because there's a lot of ODIs
ODI,
in very
yeah.
good conditions. So
Yep.
that will be important. You will see him get a couple of centuries in
Yeah.
the World Cup if against no one else. And you see, we know Kohli is a big game player.
Yep.
But if he gets a chance to feast on minnows, he will do that too.
Yes, and
So you can see him get a few tons.
yeah, a replay, bad shot,
Terrible
really
shot
terrible
from,
shot, yeah.
McKenzie.
It was short of a length outside.
You didn't
of
need
no
to even
movement.
play it.
But he was set up in a way.
Yeah, he was.
Mukesh had made him go for those drives a couple
Full,
of times.
full.
Yes.
He thought a slightly loose
Yes,
ball,
so
I'll go
that's
for it.
actually,
but
yeah, pretty decent.
So let's see. What predictions do we have for this session?
no rain, please.
No rain. Oh, speaking of, by the way, one of their better batsmen in Jermaine Blackwood is out
Yeah.
there now.
Yeah, just like 30, average of 30.
I'm just saying, you are
But
going by
even the
relativity.
first Test match, he looked decent.
His thing is that he needs to hang in for a while. Once he hangs in, he can accelerate.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine he's already played 56 tests.
Yeah.
Imagine 5-year period, he's already played 56 tests for the West
impressive.
Indies. Yeah. So yeah, I think 2 more wickets, hopefully.
Yeah, if you get 2-3 more wickets, then you're
Because
looking-
you got batting until holder.
Yeah, beyond
number
that, then
7,
the
I
tail
believe,
end.
right, for them?
7. Because 8 is Alzari.
Yeah. So Brathwaite 50, maybe it can come. So let's.
It's coming soon enough.
Yep.
Maybe by the end of the day.
So we sign off with this one fact that Arun Teja is pointing out. Kohli needs to score 124 not out in second innings to get his test average to 50.
Interesting.
Yeah, he needed 400 runs in these two.
440, right? He needed exactly.
I don't remember
the
the
entire
exact
series.
In the 2 Test matches, yeah, he needed about 400 runs.
Yeah, so he's now then 197. 420 he needs. Yes. Hope that happens. So
Let's
thank you so much, people, for joining us. We'll be back for the
Before tea, we'll be back for the Ashes end. also.
Ashes.
Yeah,
11:30.
and let's just hope we're not live.
Remember, this is an
because of a
extended
rain
session.
interruption.
This is an extended session, but 2.5 hours you're going to see. So,
Yeah.
Not just here, in Manchester as well.
Yeah, Manchester, indeed. So,
Anyway.
bye bye from me, Shane, and Harshit here. We'll see you soon.
Bye bye, guys.
Forgot to mention Park Zim rivalry. Cheeky. Where?